Look, Mama, I got every doorknob, every faucet handle. I even got the flush handles to the toilet.
That's my Amy.
Well, I guess that's about everything. Oh, that's the hotline. I'll get it. I'll go get the welcome mat.
Mama, it's them! It's them!
We know you're in there. It's our home now, so get out. It's all over.
Oh, no, it's not. It's live from New York. It's Saturday night.
All right, yes, this is Not Ready for Season 6, where we discuss the much-maligned 6th season of Saturday Night Live. We want to know if it had promise, if it's as rough as some people have said, and just explore some of the nuances that make this an interesting transitional season of Saturday Night Live. Joining me is the Debbie to my Vicky, my co-host on Pop Culture 5, Deremy Dove. What's up, man?
Hey, man, doing great. I'm going to be seeing you in person, actually, tomorrow, but, so early June when this recording comes out so people can know, but we're going to be in Cleveland, the home of Drew Carey.
Yes, Cleveland
what could
rocks.
be better?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be in wonderful Cleveland, Ohio, catching a couple Guardians-Yankees games. We'll be at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We will be down at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, just exploring all the delightful splendor that Cleveland, Ohio has to offer. I've already kind of been looking up maybe like suggestions for what's good to eat around the ballpark and stuff.
Yeah,
there was a thread on Guardians subreddit that had to do with that, so I was kind of taking notes. So
okay,
yeah, we'll see what Cleveland has in store for us.
Yeah, I heard, quick little sidebar, that the house from A Christmas Story is in Cleveland.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That is a must see. Yes.
We'll have to make like a pop culture excursion possibly to it.
Yes. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, awesome. So joining us today, we have a guest here on Not Ready for Season 6 from the Saturday Night Network. Our man, Mr. Bill Kenney. Thank you for joining us, wearing his Dodgers gear.
Hell yeah. Thanks for having me. This is exciting. All the SNL podcasts I've ever done, I've never really gotten a chance to talk about Season 6. I'm excited. I think it's a little bit unfairly treated sometimes in the lexicon of the bad seasons. It is a bad season, but it's not as bad as most people think. So glad you guys are doing this, and happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks. Are you doing a rewatch? Were you doing a rewatch with your daughter or something in the whole series?
I am, and we're in Season 6 now. And,
nice timing. Okay, I was wondering.
It's pretty interesting. She was very trepidatious going into it because she grew attached to the original cast as well and has heard the stories. But it's been interesting to say the least. And hearing you guys talk about it, I needed to take a Prozac after listening to you guys talk about Malcolm McDowell.
Oh, gosh. We were... That was probably the most grumpy I think I've ever been podcasting.
I wanted to hug both of you through the screen.
It's funny. I didn't feel grumpy. I just wanted to, I'm like, I can't lie. I have to be authentic. Like, bad is bad. And I'm like, I agree, Bill. Like, I'm like, are they really, they're real harsh on Season 6, and I just put myself in their shoes. Like, that's like such a impossible task. But then I'm like, that episode was like, man, maybe they have a right to be harsh. I don't know. Like, it was pretty bad.
So but that was like legit maybe the only bad episode we've covered so far, like truly bad episode. So I'm with you, Bill. I think so far. Now, we're covering right now, this Karen Black episode's the 7th episode, but so far, my experience is that I think people are way too hard on Season 6.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know what your guys' experience was as far as Season 6, but when I grew up, like, the first 5 seasons were fairly readily available. Like, they were on PBS when I started watching them, then they were on E, but 6 through 10 didn't really exist anywhere until Comedy Central took over in the early 90s. So my only experience was the Hill and Weingrad book, and like you read that and you just hear how terrible things were on the show, and it can color your feelings about it. But as you watch it, yeah, I mean, you can see the seeds of decent things going on here, and the pressure they had taken over from these icons. I mean, that can't be overstated. But yeah, if you go in with a fresh mind, I think you can find some good stuff here.
Yeah, absolutely. So this week, we're covering episode 7 of season 6, which aired on January 17th, 1981. Your host, Karen Black, musical guest Cheap Trick, and Stanley Clarke trio. So Karen Black, a returning host. I guess I had forgot that. So she hosted the second season. I forgot her hosting stint in the second season. Bill, do you really remember her hosting gig in the second season?
It's very forgettable, other than Debate 76. I mean, there's nothing to point to, and that she had very little to do with that. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to pick a host from the first 5 years, this is a strange one to go with. And it's mostly forgettable if you go back and watch it. Like, that's a great season, but this is not a great episode. So to have her come back in a season that's already getting a lot of scrutiny is an interesting choice, but I think a good choice overall. Yeah, Deremy, I had said at the end of last week that I didn't quite know who Karen Black was. I didn't know her by name necessarily, but she's almost a that guy for me. Yeah, like seeing her face, I'm like, oh yeah, I know who that is from Nashville. Even, in her later years, she was Mother Firefly in House of a Thousand Corpses. I remember her from that. So she's been in a lot. If you look at her IMDb or Wikipedia or whatever, like she is kind of a quote unquote that guy. So know the face. I didn't quite know the name. Deremy, were you familiar with? Because I think both of us were on the same page. But when you saw Karen Black, were you like, oh?
I'll be honest, only Nashville popped into my mind.
Okay.
Everything else, I kind of was like, oh, let me look up, and then, like, you are right. Like, it was like, oh yeah, I kind of saw her in that, but Nashville was the thing that I'm like, the lady from Nashville, and I completely forgot that she had hosted in the second season like that.
Me too.
Went over my head big time. So shame on me.
Yeah, it only registered with me because before we started recording, we were talking about the big undertaking that we were doing with the SNN's Top 100 Sketches, the summer series that they're doing over on Saturday Night Network. And I said that I had perused the whole spreadsheet from season 1 to season 51. And as I was going to season 2, I saw Karen Black's name and I was like, oh, she hosted in season 2. Okay, so I wouldn't have remembered otherwise. That like jogged my memory. That's how I did. So, but forgettable. I shouldn't remember anyway, I guess, because apparently Bill said it was forgettable.
So neither one of you is 5 Easy Pieces fan, huh?
I guess. Well, I know it was referenced. We'll get that to there in tonight's episode.
Great movie.
I know the line, but I didn't know the movie. Honestly,
no.
Probably Nicholson's top 3 of Nicholson's career. Yeah. I think.
I should watch it then.
And that's saying something. Yeah, it's a great movie.
Okay. Yeah. So Nashville and House of a Thousand Corpses for me, Bill.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
All right. I'm ready to get into this. You guys ready?
Absolutely.
Do it.
All right, so we have the cold open. It's Inauguration Day, and the Carters have to get the hell out of the White House. So Joe, Ann, and Denny are back as Jimmy, Rosalind, and Amy Carter.
We cleared out the East Wing, and there's nothing left in the West Wing. And I drained the pool.
Leave the diving board.
This is the last of the Rose Garden.
I didn't necessarily, I guess, the Reagans up until this point hadn't officially taken office, but I didn't necessarily expect the Carters to be back. Bill, Deremy and I have enjoyed specifically Denny as Amy Carter so far. So what do you think of this sketch? What do you think of their depiction as the Carters?
Pretty good. I mean, you have a whole season in season 5 where you don't see Jimmy because Dan had left. So I think Piscopo does okay here. I think Ann's one of her better roles in this season. But yeah, Denny is definitely the highlight. And I even enjoy the voice of Gail coming up through as Nancy Reagan. But she does make a weird choice with the accent. But other than that, she has the best line in this.
Yeah. What do you think? Did this cold open work for you?
Yeah, I thought it was solid. I thought it was a solid cold open. Better than some of the other cold opens that we've had this season. I feel like the trend for me when it comes to season 6 has been, so far, rough cold opens and odd monologues. But I think this was like a solid. It wasn't great, but it was solid. And, Denny did do a good job as the young Amy Carter. I really do like what she brings to it. And I feel like Joe did have a couple lines. It's hard to compare him. We had Danny doing it, but Joe had some funny lines in here too. Like, okay, this could have. I wish they would have went to this a little bit more, honestly, while you were in this transition period.
Yeah, I agree. I think there was a really funny bit at the beginning when it was just Anne and Denny. So it was Anne as Rosalind needing a crowbar to pry the presidential seal off the desk, but Amy was using the crowbar to pry the banister off the wall. I just love that concept of them just like, we have to bring everything from the White House, like leave nothing behind, pretty much out of spite to spite these people. How dare they move into our house or whatever. So I really thought it was a fun concept. Bill had mentioned Nancy getting on the loudspeaker or bullhorn and telling them to get out. I thought that was really nice. Though I agree, I was like kind of thrown off by Gail's choice.
Yeah, like what is that accent? Like,
I don't know.
Crazy. I mean, Nancy wasn't really in the spotlight at this point. Like we know her now from the Don't Do Drugs and all the stuff she did in the 80s, but maybe nobody really knew her voice. So I don't know, but interesting.
Agreed.
For sure.
Yeah, and I thought it was actually a pretty smooth transition to the Live from New York. I think they've been a little awkward lately, but I thought the transition was like smooth to the Live from New York. I liked this, and Bill, like we've talked about this a lot in our first few episodes, and my expectations for cold opens are maybe a little less than a lot of people's. I just think it should be not even like a full narrative, like conceived sketch. I think it should just be just like a light way to get us into a sketch comedy show. So I think I look at it as something different than like a full sketch during the show.
Yeah, I agree. And there have been some odd choices in season 6. You guys talked about Gilly in the electric chair. And this whole like dad joke thing of trying to make it live from New York, and like it's a groaner every time they do that. So exactly. I appreciate when they do something like this and it's short and it's sweet. Yeah,
exactly. So we have Karen's monologue next, and there's a little bit of to me a little bit of a noteworthy kind of thing here with the monologue. I think this is our first host since Jamie Lee Curtis who isn't visibly inebriated during the monologue.
Oh, really? I would say or do anything to get applause. Oh, let's see. What can I think of? Oh, I got one. I'm a mother! It does it to me, Let's see what else. I don't use drugs!
She seemed pretty energetic, but not on some sort of like substance or whatever, right?
No, I will give her that. She, this seems to be a big thing. She wasn't boozing or using, but she did mention drugs in the monologue anyway, so I felt like the streak, in a weird way, continues.
Okay.
Like, in a weird way. She stopped one streak, but continued another one in a way. She was really just kind of like too hectic, too fast-paced for me, and it was just like, slow down. And I'm like, boy, thank God you don't use drugs, because I don't know what this would be like if you did. Like, it was a lot going on here.
So we were kind of thrown off by David Carradine and especially Ray Sharkey's monologue, because they were both visibly like, ugh. So at least, what are your memories of those two before you get into Karen Black? I'm curious.
Yeah, they were not on planet Earth, I think, in either one of those cases. But yeah, I'll tell you, man. I mean, Ebersol, when he comes in, like, there are questionable things that he does. I think him getting rid of the monologue coming after season 6 makes a lot of sense, because, like, I think we've had one good monologue, right? Maybe one or two. I don't know how you guys have felt about him. I know the first couple
liked Ellen
really
Burstyn
rough.
Was okay.
Ellen Burstyn, yes, that was a good one.
And Jamie Lee wasn't.
Jamie Lee's was okay too.
Yeah.
But this one is a whole lot of nothing. Like, what was the point of this? Like, And I think the only funny thing is maybe unintentional when she says, "I don't do drugs," and they start booing her.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. No, she said absolutely nothing, but she said it in a very hectic way, as Deremy pointed out.
Yeah.
But there was absolutely nothing there.
But
I don't think this monologue needed to exist. No offense to Karen.
No. And for these, because you brought up, Bill, what Ebersol does, getting rid of it, which I think, it makes sense because he's not a comedy guy. So he's just like, this isn't working. Get rid of it. But I'm just like, for these hosts and these poor monologues, I look at the writers and producers like, get them to, hey, calm down a little bit before they go out there, or be sober, or just have a little bit, help them out. Don't just have them like transcribing what they did this week. And then, okay, that's it. Like, give me a little bit more. I don't necessarily knock the host so far in season 6. Like, I'm not saying that they don't have any fault, but I look at the writers just like, what are you guys doing?
We get to our first sketch, and it's the legendary composers. Charles Rocket is a guy telling us how many popular songs of the time were written by legendary composers.
Well, now, many of these reborn melodies have been gathered in this unique 8-record set. It's a painless introduction to the classics which will enrich every home. Here's just a sampling. Yes, it's everybody's favorite, Love Stinks. But did you know it was actually Haydn's Symphony No. 98 for piano and winds?
So before I start a wrestling-style promo on this sketch, I'm curious, Deremy, I want to start with you. What did you think of legendary composers?
I guess if you've listened, I have not been the biggest Charles Rocket fan to date, but I didn't mind this one as much. It was okay. It was like another solid. I thought it was kind of, I like the concept, and I thought he actually did make me laugh, even though he kind of flubbed a little bit, but he still was like funny with it. He did a good like pitchman, like his best Danny impression here to me. I didn't mind it as much. I thought it was like okay. It wasn't great, but I laughed a couple times. I thought it was all right.
Yeah, I agree. I like these record ads. Growing up with these on TV and on a constant basis. But the concept itself in this one is a little strange because, like, the songs, I don't know. Am I too in the weeds? Am I too super fanny going like, the songs don't match up. They don't have anything that, like, Whip It doesn't sound like Beethoven. Like, I don't know. That bothered me a little bit. But hearing a few early 80s tunes was fun. And, I think Charlie does a pretty good job here, even though he is definitely still hamming it up and figuring out his way with that.
Yeah, I actually agree about Charlie. I think Charles, like, he did a good job in this. And the idea is fine to me, but why the hell aren't we hearing classical versions of these songs?
Yeah.
Why are we hearing the actual versions of these songs? You can't just tell me, oh, our CD has classical versions of these pop songs, and just play the pop songs.
Yeah.
Don't tell me, show me. Like, how did nobody in the writer's room not give that note or think like, hey, we're referencing classical versions of Whip It? Maybe instead of playing the actual, maybe the joke would land better if we actually like tried to do a classical version of Whip It. To me, that's sketch writing 101. See, I got so upset that my keys fell off of my desk. My voice, the sheer power of my voice willed those keys off my desk. But seriously, I was so annoyed. Why are we not hearing classical versions of these songs? Like, you're just telling me the sketch premise. Show me.
Do you think this was like a budget thing, or like were the writers kind of like lazy with it? Like, what do you think?
I attribute it to laziness.
Yeah.
But if it's a budget thing, then don't air it. Then you just don't run it. If you can't, but like, well, I don't know. Like, were those the real songs that they were playing?
Yes.
Then that's not a budget thing. That they have musicians at the ready, I'm sure. Like, they could get violinists just to kind of try to play Whip It like on the violin, and that wouldn't take long to record. I think it's lazy.
Definitely. Yeah, I think we are complete agreement on that.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So overall, I think that sucked and was lazy, but maybe I'm probably more harsh on it. But it had a little bit of promise, but I was watching it going like, there's one tweak could have made this like a pretty good sketch.
Yeah. That's why I call it solid, because it could have been really great if you did have the actual like class, and you could have done anything. If they sounded really good, it's like okay, or if they sounded bad, like I still would have been like, that's funny, but you needed something. I agree.
Exactly. Right. So that's the most annoyed I'll be this entire episode, honestly. So I'm glad that we got that out of the way up front.
Okay.
For sure. Next we have Foundation for the Tragically Hip. This is an ad for the Foundation for the Tragically Hip, in which the foundation is asking you to donate to tragically hip children in need.
These things cost money. That's why we're asking for yours. Foundation for the Tragically Hip, Beverly Hills, California, 91203. Somewhere a child will say, "Yo, thank you, man."
It's kind of interesting because this sketch actually originally aired on Michael Neesmith's comedy special Elephant Part, so it's not like an SNL produced thing. So I wonder, I didn't have internet access when I watched this, so I didn't like deep dive into, I wonder how this got. Do you have any knowledge, Bill or Deremy, of how this got on SNL?
Well, this is one of 3 times that Michael Nesmith has something on this season, which I don't know if there was like a friendship in the writer's room that was happening. But yeah, you're right. Like, it's very strange to have something that wasn't produced in-house, that was from another show or a movie. I think Elephant Parts was a movie, but and have it come here in its fully formed version. Yeah, very strange.
Yeah, Deremy, what did you think of the sketch?
I thought it was funny. It was different because I think they've done that before. Like, we've seen it where they've used other people's short films and things to put on here. If this didn't have a short film kind of look to me, it had like a commercial kind of look to me. And honestly, so I think if it had that film look, I would be like, all right, whatever. But my curiosity goes up because it looks like it could be an in-house commercial that they did, but it's not.
And the story, I think that this is where the band got their name, our friend JD, right?
Yes, yeah. I'm sure if JD's listening, I'm sure he's sitting there going, they better mention this. They better mention it.
I know it's been up for debate, but there are YouTube clips of the band talking about them getting their name from this. So, yeah. Yeah, I didn't even know it was up for debate. I thought the band specifically said... The only thing up for debate, I guess, is whether they were watching SNL or Elephant Parts, but I'm pretty sure it was Elephant Parts that they were watching. Probably.
And saw this. I think they've said that. So that's where the tragically hip Canadian, the Canadian treasures, the tragically hip, got their name from this sketch. I like the concept. I like the deadpan delivery. I was fine with this. It didn't overstay its welcome. So I thought it was okay. I wouldn't mind more Michael Naismith shorts, I guess.
Yeah, I like his direction here, and he did a lot in the 80s with this kind of comedy. I'm a big Monkees fan too, so I loved going back and watching the reruns when I was a kid. So yeah, I think this works pretty good, and Bill Martin does a good job. Not that Billy Martin, but Bill Martin has, and when he switches to his voice there towards the end,
yes,
I thought that was great. So yeah, I mean, and listen, we're 8 minutes into the show, maybe like 10 minutes in with commercials, and we've got 4 full segments. That's insane.
That's
that's not even a cold open today.
It's ridiculous. That's season 6 for you, though. Like, they just pack it.
Yep.
So we have the next sketch. It's a live sketch. The Lively. So Gail is a woman who feels so lucky to be married to a famous game show host, Phil Lively, played by Charles Rocket. And it turns out their domestic life is like a game show, with him as the host and Gail as the contestant.
I'm so excited!
Okay, you did the laundry, all right, and you finished the shopping, and you've obviously shampooed the carpeting, and now we're about ready to serve a wonderful meal for invited guests. Are you ready?
I sure am, Phil.
Okay, why don't you go back to the kitchen and finish up, and... Oh, I'm sorry we've run out of time for any further preparations.
Deremy, I want to start with you to get your thoughts on the Livelies.
I'm stunned. I'm still in shock because this episode had a lot of Charles Rocket, especially early on. And for the first time, I don't mind it. I really enjoyed this sketch. I thought it was really funny. I thought Charles and Gail both worked really well together. And then even when you see, like, I liked how Gilbert and Denny played it of being like kind of like odd and like this is weird. But Gilbert even made me laugh with the whole guessing the wine year and stuff like that. And like just the way Charles was delivering that, to me, it seems like, I don't want to jinx it, but he was starting to get that balance of like, you know, being a former broadcaster, but how to like make it funny. Like that's what I'm getting here, which to me he struggled with throughout early on in this season, but he's nailing this game show host. Like I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, Bill and Deremy, I'm about to say kind of I don't know if it's a hot take, but it's just kind of a take that I have coming out of this sketch. I think this might be the most well executed sketch of the entire season.
100%.
Like, this is a good idea, but the quality of the execution really stands out. It was like boom, boom, boom. They didn't miss a mark. Like they had this idea, let's make their neighbors contestants that are coming on to the game show, basically. And they did it flawlessly. Like there was nothing, I don't think there's anything that they could have done where I'm like, if they just made that tweak. I'm like, the idea that they had was just so perfectly executed. I was blown away because that's one of my big complaints of season 6. If I have some, it's sometimes there's germs of good ideas, but then the execution is sloppy. This is just like, it blew me away with how well executed it was, Bill.
Yeah, maybe the best live sketch of the season up to this point. Maybe of the entire season. We'll see when you guys get to the end what you think. But yeah, you guys have been talking about Denny a lot and how under, what could have been if she had come back. I feel the exact same way about Gail. I've always had a soft spot for Gail. I think she, like in another season, another era, she would have just been one of these people who shined like Jan Hooks or, a Gilda, like given the opportunity with good writing. And I think right here, like it's so simple in its concept, but like her screaming when Charles walks into the room, like, or when she's humming the Jeopardy song towards the end, and then makes the looking at her face, like it's such brilliant comedy out of nothing. Like I love this sketch. I love Gail, and I think Charlie is really, as Deremy said, like finding his groove.
No, Charlie was legit awesome in this sketch, I think, and so was Gail. And Deremy and I both love Gail so far this season. Her in the Jamie Lee Curtis episode, I think that might have been the best night that any cast members had this entire season, honestly.
I honestly think, maybe I'll follow your lead, Thomas, like, if she would have, maybe later on, the way, like, Kristen Wiig and, like, Kate McKinnon, like, those odd kind of characters, I think Gail really, like, nails. And I think if she had, like, the right comedy minds around, they would have seen that and really, like, thrived with it. But she can play those quirky characters, kind of like, this is years before Fargo came out, but, like, it's like when I see her, it's like I'm thinking of, like, the movie Fargo all the time. And how, like, that's a serious movie. It's still really funny. You crack up with that Dakota kind of Midwestern sensibility. Right. She brings that so great here that I wish someone would have saw that.
Yeah, the beats of this were just so perfectly executed. The Livelies asking their neighbors to guess the year of the wine that they just poured. And then that's when you said, Bill, that she does the and she does the Jeopardy music, and they get it wrong, so then they had to, like, leave. I love this sketch.
When they go to her, yeah, exactly. And when Denny says that she likes the dining room table, Gail's quick move of pulling off her house dress, and like having this like game show hostess look to her, like that was great. Like just can't say enough about this one.
Yeah, possibly the best sketch of the season, the best live sketch of the season.
I think you're right.
So far, yeah, this was awesome. So we have a history right here. Again, this Reagan Sinatra. So this is Joe Piscopo's debut of his Sinatra impression. We get it in episode 7 here.
Good boy, Ronnie. I've been thinking about this Bush cat. Obviously, he does not capiche my role in the new administration.
Oh, no, Mr. Sinatra. Georgie loves you.
Not enough. He's out.
Oh, but, sir, he's an elected official.
You hear that, boys? Enough.
The idea is that Ronald Reagan, played by Charles Rocket, pays Sinatra a visit, and Charles as Reagan is being lobbied, I guess, by Sinatra for Nancy to be vice president at the behest of Nancy behind the scenes.
Right.
She's pushing for that. Bill, we got Joe Piscopo Sinatra here.
Well, let's talk about the positive first. Yes, we get the Sinatra. That's one of those SNL things that you debate, Phil versus Joe. I think that's one of those ones that's hotly contested. I know Joe doesn't love Phil's. He thought Phil's was a little more mean.
Mm-hmm.
But this is, Joe coming out. He has this. He's clearly been working on this for a long time. He has such reverence for Frank Sinatra. So that's the great part. But Charlie is Reagan, man. Oh, my God. Oof. I can't. I'm a political junkie on top of an SNL junkie. And, I grew up on those mid-'80s, late 80s impressions that we got. Yeah. If I grew up on this, I might have hated politics.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Deremy, I will say about this Reagan impression, at the very least, they actually tried to do something with his hair and makeup. The first time Charles appeared as Reagan, it was just Charles, and you're like, what the hell? So at least they tried to do something with him, but his impression's awful. But I will say that, maybe they took a note from someone and said maybe we should make him at least try to resemble Reagan a little bit, man.
Yeah, he's just terrible at it, and I feel like use people in their strengths, which they did for him actually early on with the sketches he was in, that's what he does. Or tries to do at least. But I don't know where someone thought he's an impressionist. He's clearly not. And I don't know. It's weird because even though Reagan is a few days away from being, the inauguration, the country has seen him with the debates with Jimmy Carter. He's campaigned, and he's been a face for years as an actor and as a governor. So it's why would you're not fooling anybody with this.
No.
It's just terrible, on his end. And honestly, I love what Joe is doing with Sinatra. There's a lot of great lines. It would be a great sketch if he had someone who could play Reagan. It'd be great.
Yeah, exactly. I actually think it's a good sketch. The Charles Rocket as Reagan stuff aside, I like the concept. I think it's funny, Nancy lobbying to be VP. Pretty good Nancy Reagan wig on Gail, honestly. She kind of did resemble Nancy just with the wig. But I was just having a really good time watching Joe perform his Sinatra. So that's what did it for me. I was able to forget about the awful Reagan impression, and I still like the sketch.
Yeah, I like Joe. And Bill, that's I always go back and forth. I think I'm leaning, and not just from recency bias to watching it, I think I'll lean with Joe's Sinatra over Phil's by a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I think Joe gets the essence of Sinatra more than Phil does, but this is great, and this just shows why in later the seasons afterwards, Joe was a lead. Him and Eddie were the leads because this is just awesome.
Yeah, and I find it interesting that after we talked about the Gail voice in the open, she tones it down here and she finds a better way to portray this. I think she's great here too. But yeah, hearing him sing, it is. I'm probably going to give it to Joe on technically a little bit better. Yeah, love this sketch.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. We have a lot of Charles Rocket so far dominating this episode. So much Charles Rocket. So we have the Rocket Report next, and Charles wants to shine a light on New York's finest daredevils. So he talks about the Hasidic jeweler just walking around with diamonds, the drug dealers, a guy peeing on the street as a daredevil, and then he gets to a New York cabbie who he says basically engages in stunt driving.
You handle let's say a left-hand turn at a traffic light from the extreme right-hand lane, cutting across 3, possibly 4 lanes of traffic.
Yes.
You can handle that?
Yeah, that can be handled.
Okay, here's the move that Richard has agreed to perform for us. He's going to position himself in this.
I got the willies watching the open with Charles just kind of dangling over 50 stories and then doing, I'm I don't know. I was just concerned for him, but I don't know. It was 45 years ago, so maybe I shouldn't have been, but that did give me the willies.
Me
Aside
too.
from that, I don't know, Deremy, what'd you think of this Rocket Report? We've been mostly positive on Rocket Report so far.
Yeah, that's been the best thing he's contributed, in my opinion, so far to season 6. And that's just me, like, and I think you too, like, even though we know he's okay, just seeing him dangle, because I'm like, they wouldn't do that nowadays. They wouldn't let him do that. And just, I believe they just let him do that. And he's probably like, I'm fine. They're like, okay. So, that did have me like, wow, like they wouldn't do it nowadays. But besides that, the concept was great. I thought it was really funny what he was doing. And then that whole scene of him in the cab with the cab driver was just cracking me up. And, you know, just someone, I'm an hour and a half away from New York. And when I walk the streets of New York, I'm always like, how can anyone drive in this? So I thought that just always makes me laugh, because I think that too. I'm like, I think just regular driving in New York, you're a daredevil, let alone this stunt driving. So I love this great Rocket Report.
Yeah, same here. I love seeing the early 80s aesthetics of New York City.
Yeah.
I think as much as the original era did that to a decent extent, I think the Rocket Report really puts it out there. Getting real people in these, as he's done since the beginning of the season, I think that's great. Like, so you're getting a real sense of, like, you know, when I started going to New York, it was more like late 80s, early 90s, and it was starting to be cleaned up. It wasn't Disneyfied yet. It was kind of in that weird spot. This is still grimy. This is still like, you know, strip clubs and porn sites on every corner. So I love that feel of New York. I think that's very interesting. And yeah, Charlie's really great here.
Yeah, you guys, this is my favorite Rocket Report of the season so far. I was cracking up. I loved the concept. It was a great fit when Charles was asking the cab driver if he could perform like this specific move. Like, if you're in the far right lane, could you make a left at a light past 3 cars and like safely? And the guy's like, yeah, I could do that. And then I love the cut next to Charles diagramming it for us on a piece of paper, what the cabbie agreed to do for him. Like, wow, he's actually gonna. And I think he actually did the move for real. You guys,
so. And then he also says, "I ran the light," and like,
yeah, and he was so pleased with himself. Yeah, that he ran the light. He's just like, oh, he seemed so proud. The cabbie seemed so proud of himself running the light.
It was great, and I think, I don't know about you, Thomas or Bill. I know you're rewatching it too. Like, I think about, like, man, if Lorne. I mean, everything happens for a reason. I think Lorne needed the break, but if, like, I look at season 6 and I'm like, how would it be different if Lorne was there? And I think Lorne would have kind of been okay with Charlie just doing these and using him when he needs to. And I think Charles Rocket could have really shined, you know, just like waited when he comes back with Dennis just doing Weekend Update. I think Lorne would have been fine with him just doing these bits, maybe a little bit here and there. And in that way, I really think Charles Rocket could have been a valuable cast member, more valuable than what he was. So it's just interesting because these are all great. And this is the best one, I agree, Thomas, so far.
Yeah, and Charles is having a good night, I think, too. But, well, aside from the Reagan, I'll give him a pass for that because the overall night's been pretty good. But, you know, aside from that. So, next sketch, we have a security guard played by, holy shit, Charles Rocket. He's at the Louvre. He's ending his relationship with the Mona Lisa.
You'll never get me out of this picture.
Oh.
Cheer me up, Eduardo.
I can't. I'm just so exhausted.
Please.
All right. Mona Lisa, Manhattan. Gee, it's just face facts. You know, this relationship's just not going anywhere.
I was wondering what happened to Karen Black. We hadn't seen her since the monologue, and this is the 6th piece so far, a 6th segment of the night. And I think this is Karen Black's first appearance since the monologue. So I don't know. Maybe she was too hyped up from the monologue with all that energy. They had to kind of settle her down, fan her off a little bit. But we have Karen Black as Mona Lisa. And like I said, the security guard played by Charles Rocket at the Louvre is ending his relationship. He's breaking it to the Mona Lisa that they can't continue. Deremy?
I did think the same thing. Like, man, are they trying to hide Karen? Was she not good? But for this being her first, like, live sketch appearance, I thought she was really funny and really talented. Did a great job as the Mona Lisa, even doing the smile at the end, but then yelling off camera and those interactions with Charlie. To me, she made the sketch. I think it's a good sketch here. So I'm like, I guess if you're not going to be on till the sixth segment or something like that, she started off really well here. I really did enjoy what Karen did in her first live sketch of the night. So it was a very good sketch to me.
Yeah, same. I think Karen really shines here. She seems to have a penchant for doing voices. We see it later in the night too. So her accent choices here are very interesting. But I think they're good. She does have some great lines like "You can't break up with me. I'm a masterpiece," and yelling at Whistler's mother to drop dead was a great line. Denny off screen. But yeah, I mean, you said it, Thomas. Charlie's all over this. But when you have 6 cast members, this is what's going to happen. People who complain about 16, 17 cast members, if you don't like Charlie Rocket, you're not liking season 6, right? Because he is everywhere.
Yeah, especially tonight. I actually thought Charlie was really good in this sketch. I thought he was pretty likable. I thought he played it perfectly. He wasn't trying to be the smarmy, I need the attention kind of guy. I thought he was pretty likable, and it was kind of grounded in reality. This whole sketch, even though the sketch was about a guy having a relationship with a painting. I think it was oddly grounded in reality, and Charles was more just sort of an everyman kind of guy.
I think that's a great point, Thomas, and I think we've kind of mentioned that before, but I think that's why he's really doing well so far tonight for me is his likability. And even though sometimes we're like, oh, just how can you nail a joke? When you're performing, there is a likability that has to occur between you and the audience, and he hasn't had that before, but tonight it is okay, Charlie's kind of like the way Joe has had that likability throughout, and Eddie has had it. I think Charlie's showing that tonight. Okay, I like this guy, and he can just be like you said, an everyman. Okay, all right, Charlie.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't always have to put up airs or just try to be a jerk, ham it up all the time. Yeah. I don't know. He could actually be pretty good. So another good sketch tonight, I think. Thumbs up for this one. We have a musical performance next. Cheap Trick performs Baby Loves to Rock. Bill, am I wrong in saying that this might be somewhat up your alley?
No, you're absolutely right. Yes. But, Thomas, we've talked about this with certain bands when we've talked, how are they not playing their songs, man? Why are they not playing Surrender? I Want You to Want Me or Dream Police.
Did I Want You to Want Me? It was already out by this time?
Yes. Yeah.
Was it? Okay. I was wondering that. I didn't look, like I said, I was watching this with no internet, so I didn't immediately look it up. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I do enjoy this performance a lot. This is one of those bands, when I was growing up with MTV, they were on constantly, and then they have that resurgence in the late 80s with The Flame and things like that, and Don't Be Cruel. So this is a very recognizable band to me. Robin Zander's very obvious, the drummer and the guitarist, you know them when you see them, right? I think if you're a music fan from the 80s. So I think they did a good job here.
Some people will, instead they won't. My baby loves to rock. My baby loves to roll. My baby loves to roll and roll. My baby loves to rock.
Yeah, Deremy, some good old-fashioned early 80s garage rock for us.
Cheap Trick is very hit or miss for me, but the songs that I like by them, I love. By Cheap Trick, Surrender is one of my favorite songs of all time. I can jam to that any day. I felt like I was disappointed with Cheap Trick tonight, overall, and I feel like this was their I don't know why their Led Zeppelin impression for this first song, and it was kind of mid for me a little bit. I didn't dig it as much.
I thought it was decent. I think I would have liked them to play their hits.
Oh yeah,
I agree with you guys. Let's just play the hits, But I thought this was okay. It didn't offend me in any sort of way. I was kind of rocking out a little bit to it. So the thumbs to the side for me. I think I thought this was fine.
I would give this one a side thumb. Now later on, it's different, but
okay.
This is a side thumb.
All right. So weekend update is next. It's week 2 of the Charles Rocket Gail Mathias pairing. Bill, what do you think of Weekend Update, just Charlie, and then when adding Gail, like how would you compare and contrast those two, or the decision to go to Gail?
Can we go back to Bill and Jane? Because boy, oh boy, Gail adds something here because Charlie is clearly struggling by himself.
Yeah, he's pretty rough.
But the chemistry is just not there. Like, there is not the whole scotch and soda thing. Like, and it's all very awkward. So now you've got two awkward people doing Weekend Update, tripping over their lines. I don't know. Like, maybe it'll get better as weeks go on, but right now, I don't know. It's pick your poison, literally.
Yeah. I really want to like Gail doing this, and I think she is still pretty likable. I think she takes it in stride when she kind of messes up or something happens. But it's just they can't seem to find anybody to. I don't know if there's a good cast member who would be good at this. Honestly,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, well, you guys talked about Piscopo. I mean, that would have made.
He has his lane on Weekend Update, which I enjoy though. So then we wouldn't be getting the sports. Like, isn't Brian Doyle Murray in the writers' room right now? Maybe
you really want him in there?
I
Do you not remember Newsbreak?
Yeah. I actually don't quite remember Newsbreak, so
I do.
Was he not good either?
Those reruns. I didn't dig him.
Okay. So maybe there's nobody in the building who can do this.
I think the only one who was somewhat okay in these 5 years without Lorne, Brad Hall, to me was like he did it decently. He wasn't funny, but he was like, he delivered it okay. But I think it's rough until Dennis Miller comes, honestly.
I was going to say, Deremy, you and I talked about Dennis Miller on the Hall of Fame. And, like, you can say what you want about Dennis now, and you can say, like, it doesn't age well, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, man. Like, you see what he does on Weekend Update starting in 85, like, it's night and day.
Absolutely.
And this is just brutal to watch.
It really is.
These jokes don't land. I think it's still just not good writing either. To me,
well, you think about Che and Jost today, and when they, they'll have the picture and they'll be, RFK Jr. seen here, eating a small child, but that's the whole joke at this point. Like, it's just, look at this picture and it's funny because Reagan's bent over picking his nose, and like, that's it. There's no meat there. It's bad.
No, though Charles had one, I think, pretty good when he was going over the rundown of the inauguration. I think that was like the only good moment.
Plus, the Herald Trumpeters of the U.S. Army Marching Band and the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. And that's not all. Yes, Pope Paul is sending over the College of Cardinals Barbershop Quartet. But wait, from England, Prince Charles will do hand shadows on Princess Anne's back. There's more. In a special performance, Senator Storm Thurmond will juggle his gallstones.
One of the few good moments of the whole season, I think Charles has had on Update.
Yeah, the two illegal immigrants in a horse-suit was pretty funny too, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we have some update pieces. We have Mary Lou James, played by Ann Risley, with some diet tips.
One little trick I found is if you put the same amount of food on a smaller plate, it seems like more. Well, this works great if you're a complete moron who can't even tell that the dish is smaller. But why go halfway? I mean, why not spread the food out all over the table?
I think Anne's delivery was a little better than her last Update appearance, but Deremy, I don't think she's quite made to do this on Update.
She's not. I wish she's the only one I think has the sensibility that could do an Update, because you just asked who could. But then I think if you had, like, people around her to, like, really, you have to, like, give a lot of people. I think Gail coming in as, like, a weird, odd character could have worked with, like, not her as a co-anchor, but yeah, she's just not delivering right now in this role. And I think she could maybe do it if she just plays the straight person, but her trying to be funny is really just bombing.
Yeah, Bill, what do you think of Ann Risley on Update? And just as a whole, it seems like she's not finding her footing on SNL.
She's one of the great mysteries of this season, right? Like, I think going back and watching this season, and it'd be interesting when you guys get to the end and kind of post-mortem it, like, everybody kind of has their niche, even Gilly, who's having a hard time with certain things. But, yeah, I mean, Ann Risley, like, what are you pointing to? She did great in the cold open. I think she has moments, But yeah, here she's just not, and this whole concept of the dieting and just, smaller plates, like it's not funny.
It's corny.
And if you're not good at doing something like that to begin with, and the material's not good, and you're not really good in this situation, it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. I think the thing that made me laugh the most about this was I think of Flub. I think Gail calling her Mary Ann instead of Mary Lou. Is the only thing that made me laugh. And Gail caught herself.
Yeah.
Right away, but yeah, she didn't ruin anything. That piece was dead on arrival. So we have a film to report as well. Rush to the Sun Belt, which was basically set up like an old time newsreel with some humorous stock footage. I thought this was just okay, not terrible, but not good. It was just sort of fine to me. I don't know. Maybe I need to watch it a second time.
I enjoyed this. I think this was pretty good. Maybe it was a little Schiller light as far as finding that black and white newsreel voice guy. But yeah, I think this was pretty good, and showing that old footage of felt like old 50s film. So I think this was maybe the highlight of the entire thing for me with Weekend Update.
I agree, and I think for me, Thomas, I was with you. Then I rewatched this Weekend Update again because I'm like, is the whole update being crappy making me not like this? And when I watched it again, I was like, it's good. I kind of agree with Bill. It was the best part of the whole update, and maybe because everything else was so bad, it made it elevates it or something. But it was nice. Film is where they do great work at so far here. That's what they need to. That's their bread and butter. I know it's a live show, but the more film you can get in for this season, the better. Honestly, so. It's probably the best part of the Weekend Update for me, too.
I'm surprised you're saying that because I actually really enjoyed Joe Piscopo with sports. I really liked this one. I thought the turn was really good. I don't know if you didn't like this one, Deremy, because it was the Eagles-Raiders Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay, and
definitely Super Bowl 15, bad memories for a lot of Philadelphians, we don't like Rod Martin to this day.
I'll show you some grace there. But I love this. Joe's talking about the high prices of tickets for the Raiders-Eagles Super Bowl. And then I love the turn that he proceeds to start promoting that he's selling 2 tickets.
Average fan left out in cold. Incredible, outrageous, unfair. Think about it. 2 tickets. Football, Eagles, Raiders, Super Bowl, 50-yard line, New Orleans, Bourbon Street, drinking, party. Call now. Best offer, cash only. Joe Piscopo, Saturday Night Sports, Charlie.
Thank you, Joe.
So it turns into him. That got a really good laugh out of me. I thought this was a good bit.
I liked this. I think my favorite of the update was the Rush to the Sun Belt, but you know me, I'm digging Joe doing the sports. I think it's really funny. And even what he does at the end with distracting Charles was interesting in a way, but odd. But
no, I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I
with
think
the tickets, because that's the second week in a row that he's done that.
The props, yeah.
Bill, do you remember when he let that bowling ball guy go through Charles's next joke?
Yes.
And he waves the tickets here. I like that Joe's kind of messing with Charles.
I did too, and it's depressing to hear these prices, right? So even
I know.
So $40 to get even if you adjust for inflation, $2,000 for the scalped price wouldn't get you in the parking lot of the Super Bowl. $40 to get in, man. Oh, it's so beautiful. But I love Joe. Aside from Eddie, I knew who Joe Piscopo was, even though I had not seen these seasons, because he just really shines with all his different things here. And I think this is an incredible night for Joe, and it kind of starts with Sinatra and comes into the Weekend Update here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Joe's definitely having an excellent night, and it continues with the next sketch, 60 Minutes. So we have your host, Dan Rather, played by Joe Piscopo. He's investigating there being no women journalists on 60 Minutes, doing a self-investigating ourselves for what we're not doing.
We decided to ask some of the women who work on the 60 Minutes staff why there are no women on the air. But we couldn't find any women here or here. Or here.
There wasn't enough interesting happening for me to totally keep my interest. I think I probably should have liked this more than I did. Like, the pieces were there, but there was something missing for me, guys.
To me, I grew up having to watch 60 Minutes. Like, I was like 7 or 8 years old and watched 60 Minutes. I'm like, I can't imagine doing that to my daughter. Like, watching this stuff. But this really fit the mold of what 60 Minutes was at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And like down to the point of showing the letters at the end. And Wilkes-Barre gets a shout out, which is right down the road from me, is one of the letters. But I think he does a pretty good Dan Rather, a young Dan Rather. I think there's some good stuff here. I think walking through, talking about there's no women anywhere, including in the restroom. And it was true. Like, Diane Sawyer, I think, was the first 60 Minutes anchor. And that wasn't until like 1984. So crazy that this show is like in its 12th season and has not had a female at all. So it's kind of probably was topical and made sense to have it on here at this point.
I guess that framing, it is pretty interesting that NBC was kind of attacking CBS for not having any women on its flagship show. That's kind of interesting framing, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great, honestly. I thought, especially seeing young Dan Rather, like, and having, like, knowing those clips and all, I think Joe was great. Like, that one where he's talking to, like, I guess the president, wink, wink, of CBS, and he goes, "You know what I mean, Dan?" And the camera just turns to him, and he's staring blankly, and I'm like, that's the Dan Rather, yes, old school Dan Rather right there. That cracks me up. I thought Joe just really, I'm like, man, you should have been using him in impressions more early on, because he nails this and just does a really great job of, like, that beat of classic 60 Minutes, walking through, like, the newsroom. We wanted to talk to women, but we couldn't find any. Not here. Like, it was just great. I really cracked up with this, for sure. Especially as someone who watched 60 Minutes, but then also, because I'm a weird history nerd, have watched old school 60 Minutes a lot too. Nice. So it works for me.
I think you guys are talking me into this. I think it was better than I'm giving it credit for, honestly.
The other line I like, I think, with the whole Mike Wallace thing and the whole "take this job or you're dead," and like. And he's knocking on his door, and he's like, "I'm not in." He's not in.
Fine. This was a pretty good sketch, actually.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens on this show. I'll turn Deremy or he'll turn me and be like, you know what? I think you're right.
Yeah. That's right. You got me last week. You turned me with Ray a lot. So, I mean, I give you that.
Bill, I told Deremy that I thought Ray Sharkey was a good host. And then Deremy was kind of thinking about it, and he's like, you know what? I actually think he might be. I wasn't giving him enough credit. So
yeah,
there you go. Yeah.
It works.
Monologue aside, I thought Ray did a really good job the rest of the night. So. Oh, man. So next we have Yvonne Hudson's first appearance of the night. She's playing a nurse, checking in on a patient. The patient suffered a stroke, but we still hear his inner monologue, and it's like a POV kind of sketch. We get it's told and shown through the point of view of the patient.
Are we ready to make our morning deposit?
Yes. This is degrading, and it's freezing cold.
That's it. Just do your business.
Where do you keep these things, Gloria? In the icebox?
Today's Sunday, so we should look good for our visitors.
Gilbert Gottfried's voicing the inner monologue. And Eddie enters the room and propositions Yvonne, saying the old man is barely alive and won't care and this and that. So just like we have some people coming and going during this sketch. I thought this was a humorous, charming piece. Like, it did kind of win me over ultimately. What'd you think, Bill?
Yeah, it is kind of charming by the end. A little bit of a slice of life that we like to say. Charlie was great here as the smarmy guy. No surprise there that he's able to do that. Eddie coming in, like Eddie killing it with these small moments, like to know what he's going to become. Like, have him buried this late in the show.
Yeah.
But he brings it. It doesn't matter. Like, his line about he ain't going to tell. He's as alive as a baked potato. I think that was a great line. I mean, by the end, when Denny is singing to him, I think it was really sweet.
Yeah, what'd you think, Deremy?
I thought surprisingly Charles was, like, really funny. Really enjoyed him.
Deremy hates to say this.
I do, because I'm like, man, like, am I going to be starting to feel bad that he got fired at the end of this season if he's on a streak after this? I'm like, geez, like, I didn't think I'd be saying anything positive about Charlie Rocket going into this season. But, yeah, I kind of thought the POV, like, point of view, like, that was cool. Charlie was funny. And then what was going on with Denny in it, I'm like, it left me kind of going, I don't know what are you just trying to be sentimental? Or are you trying to be funny or what? But it was just kind of like okay for me. Like I liked the uniqueness of it, and it was different. But I kind of wish we had a little bit more funny with Denny. Honestly, when it's just them two talking, like that would have made it better for me. But still solid. Yeah, I definitely get that. I think sometimes I have an issue with too much sentimentality in SNL. To me, it's like a very fine balance, and this one was close enough to striking the balance. I think there was enough before this to where if you want to end it in a sentimental way, I was more so okay with it. But I can definitely understand if you wanted the Denny piece to have more funny in it rather than just them singing, you know. But yeah, Charles was really good with what he was asked to do in this. I thought this was pretty solid. It's been a theme of the night so far. Just kind of like good, solid sketches. All right. We have the next sketch, Fair Dinkum Championship Finals.
Hello again, everybody. Joe Piscopo live. Londonderry, Scotland, Saturday Night Sports. Championship Finals. Ancient Scottish sport, Fair Dinkum. It's a Scottish game of manhood. The final round features the McFarland Ramblers and the Highland Reachers, who boast 13 championships kilts hanging from the rafters.
Fair Dinkum is a Scottish game of manhood, Bill. And we can guess, Joe Piscopo's on the call, first of all. We could guess what's going on underneath that table. It's six guys who are seated three across from each other. So they're like tugging on each other's junk, or what's going on underneath that table?
You describing it is more interesting than what's happening in the sketch, because this is what the hell. Like, even the name Fair Dinkum is Australian for genuine or true. What the hell does that have to do with Scottish? Like, I don't. And like the kilt coming off, like this is a mess. Like this. If you're gonna show somebody something and say season 6 sucks, this would be one of the places you would go.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't awful, but it's like, what is the point of this? Like, other than Joe doing his Saturday Night Sports thing again, I got nothing. Like, this is terrible.
Yeah, I'm with you, Bill, honestly. And I love Joe's Saturday Night Sports like persona, but that couldn't save this. And I feel like that was the only thing they were trying to, like, how can we elevate that beyond just like the weekend update desk? But it's still just like, you can think of anything better than this. Like, this was a terrible sketch. This was the worst sketch of the night for me, honestly.
Yeah, the only reason why I'm not as grumpy about this one as I was about the first sketch of the night is because there wasn't even like a glimmer of something with this. It was basically just nothing. It was just a short, dumb piece, and it reminded me of, like, they were going for a similar thing with the nose wrestling thing that they did, or it was in the first episode, the Elliot Gould episode. I liked that one a little bit better. This was way more messy, but the saving grace was I thought it was short. I didn't like it at all, but it didn't. There wasn't enough there to make me be like, "What were you guys doing? How come you didn't?" You know, I was just like, "This isn't good," and then it just sort of ended. So I'm with you guys. This just probably didn't need to air, honestly.
Not at all.
I don't know why it did, but yeah, we saw a Scottish game of manhood, I guess, with Fair Dinkum. We have Eddie getting more of a showcase piece next, and he hasn't had a big night. Not much Eddie tonight. I guess still, you know, he's a featured player, and we're reminded of that this episode. I think a lot of his stuff right now, it seems like it's back-ended here. And another Yvonne Hudson fronted sketch as well. So it's Eddie Murphy and Yvonne Hudson. They're living in the same apartment complex. They're neighbors. Eddie's playing his stereo too loud. Yvonne comes out of the apartment and knocks on the door and tells him to turn it down, and they have a confrontation.
No, I ain't deaf. You got a problem under that big gap between your teeth?
Yeah, I got a problem. My apartment's too small. You think me and my family can move into your nose?
Hey, my nose ain't big.
Oh, no? Well, I got news for you. Your face is shrinking.
Deremy, I was pretty shocked, and not in a bad way. I wasn't offended or anything. I was just surprised. I was shocked by what she told Eddie at the beginning.
Oh yeah, she lets that N-word fly right away.
Yeah.
And I was surprised. Obviously, watching these like for the first time in years, I was surprised by it. And it kind of, to me, I feel like it threw the audience off a little bit too. Like they were kind of surprised.
Then it threw me off, and then I actually paused it and then went back 10 seconds. And then rewatched it. I'm like, did she say that? And then I listened. I'm like,
right away.
She did.
I knew right away.
I just had to replay it.
Oh yeah, I knew right away she said it. It starts off kind of weird with that way to kind of open it, and then you do start having some good lines back and forth between Eddie and Yvonne. I think they really kind of highlighted Yvonne for the first time in like a decent way, where she was kind of showed some like her ability and was like, hey, she had some funny lines. And then I did think it was funny, like her getting her husband to come out and him being this big dude and Eddie changing his tone. You know, very predictable, but still was funny in a way. Like it just shows me, because I can watch Eddie in these episodes and you see like the mistakes, like him kind of fumbling through some lines in these early episodes, but yet he's that talented and it rips through where like you can overlook that, and like it's just still he's hilarious. And I think he does that in this sketch. Like I thought it was a very good sketch.
Yeah, I like this sketch. And Bill, I think Yvonne and Eddie had really good chemistry here.
They did, and we saw it earlier in the night with the hospital. Yvonne is great, and I wish she had more of an opportunity. I know John Schneider, that's his white whale, is finding Yvonne Hudson and getting her on, because nobody knows where she is. She's fallen off the planet. But I think, the back and forth with them, all the jabs that they're taking at each other, my man thinks I look good. What is he, Ray Charles? And then having that dude come up, he's not on Archives. Who is this guy?
Don't know who that is.
It's wild.
Some gigantic dude who comes out of the apartment. I was when she said she was going to go get him, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if Gilbert was going to come out. I didn't know what was going to happen. And then when a burly, tall dude comes out, and I love Eddie's reaction. He's like telling his roommates, turn the music up. Yeah, turn them. And then and then he looks at the guy and he's like, hey, turn that music down. I love the flip.
Yeah, that's the most Eddie moment there, right? The thing, like, when you look back and see what Eddie's going to become and what he's able to do, like, that is the moment that you hear the voice of Eddie Murphy for sure. I enjoyed this one a lot, yeah.
And Yvonne is appearing more with, like, genuine speaking roles in this season than I even thought. I was led to believe that she was just some sort of background person, but even though, as Deremy and I have pointed out, like a couple of the roles she was given have been a little offensive, I think. Yeah. But she's been on more than I even expected. So I think that's maybe a positive. And in this episode in particular, I don't think either of these roles have been offensive, like previously, where they've given her like, hey, you should say a line from Gone with the Wind. Oh, that'd be hilarious or whatever. Like, I think they've done her justice in these two sketches that we've been talking about.
I think so, especially considering like 1981, where we're at with people of color being on SNL in particular, but overall. And yeah, she had some good moments in season 5 too. So I like that she did come back. I wonder if people at the time saw the continuity, like with everybody else gone. Probably not, but because she's not even mentioned. I don't think she's ever mentioned as a feature player in season 5. So it's probably not something that people were thinking about. But yeah, she really kind of shines here. So I would have loved to see what she could do if she had been given more of a chance. But great night for her.
Yeah. Deremy, what were your expectations for Yvonne coming into the season?
Kind of what we got. I knew, like, stereotypical parts for her, honestly, when she got them. If she had those lines, and I kind of thought, yeah, will we even be able to see what her talent was? And I am, like you guys been saying, like tonight and other sketches throughout the season, you can see her talent. It's just one of those things of, we still fight it today, but in not having hardly that many women writers back then. Like I know Pam Norris and maybe one other person. That's it. And then not having any people of color writing as well. You know, you're just going to get screwed. They're not going to understand your sensibility. They're not going to understand you. And so it was like not her fault at all. Just she was behind the 8 ball from the start. Yeah.
Well said. Agreed. We have a recurring character coming back here. It's Paulie Herman, and he walks into a diner.
Are you from Jersey? I'm from Jersey.
Heck no, I'm from Dallas.
Wow, deep in the heart of Texas.
Excuse me, do you mind not singing while I'm digesting?
Oh, I'm sorry. We got a little jukebox right here. We can listen to some real music there.
Yeah, I want to start with you, Bill. What I'm curious about your mileage when it comes to Paulie Herman.
He doesn't bother me. I think it's a pretty good impression, even though it is very, very one note what he does here. But like as far as catchphrases go, there are a lot worse in SNL history than "I'm from Jersey, you from Jersey." I think this is pretty good. This might be the best version we've seen so far, and it basically becomes that whole 5 Easy Pieces parody as it goes on, and him looking at Karen and seeing what she's doing and kind of having that recognition of her being from the movie. Denny plays a great angry waitress, so I think there's a lot good here.
Yeah, Deremy, how do you compare this Paulie Herman to previous iterations that we've seen?
I mean, just Joe being Paulie it's typical kind of, but I thought, man, they did a good job. I don't know if Karen couldn't have handled more of a workload, but when they used her, you know, she was good. I thought Karen made this like the best Paulie Herman sketch. Her interaction, her kind of being taken liking, you know, Paulie and being like okay and not being annoyed, and then him kind of and for me looking like a little surprised that like, oh, I can keep going. Okay, like,
yeah,
you
he's
know,
expecting
I've
pushback.
I've never gotten this far before. Okay, sure. Like that kind of made me laugh, and then I do know, like I kind of could research and know this scene, so I'm like, okay, that's what they're. I'm like, I feel like they're referencing something here, and so like I got that from looking it up, but I liked Karen with Joe. They had a good rapport that made me really enjoy this, honestly.
Yeah, I thought this was the best Paulie Herman so far, and it's because I appreciated them doing a little something different with Karen Black's character, finding Paulie to be funny and charming and everything. I think if they keep doing Paulie Herman sketches, yeah, they just can't keep making the person being like thrown off by Paulie or annoyed. So I love the twist of like, hey, she's like right on the same wavelength, but they don't do it to where she's a carbon copy of Paulie Herman.
Right.
At the same time, that would have been pretty grating. It's like kind of a quote unquote normalish person who is fine with Paulie. So I like that twist and turn. Karen was really great here. I mean, she's not in a lot of sketches so far, but I think she's really doing well in the sketches that she's in. But I'm probably less into the Paulie character than you, Bill. And I don't find him I could think of countless recurring characters. I like Paulie Herman more than like Gilly, honestly, than Kristen Wiig's Gilly, not Gilbert Gottfried, but Kristen Wiig's Gilly.
I would agree.
I like Paulie Herman more, but.
And even better than Joe's whiners that he'll do with Robin Duke. Like
I agree.
We love Robin Duke, but I think Paulie Herman is a better character than the whiner character.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next we have Cheap Trick. I want to go to Deremy here first to find out your thoughts on Cheap Trick performing Can't Stop It, but I'm gonna try.
I thought it was terrible.
Deremy wished they would have stopped it.
Yes, I thought it was not a good, and I was disappointed in like another not playing one of the hits, and that didn't like I could have gotten down like if it just wasn't. This was worse. This was a thumbs down. If the first performance was like a sideways and it barely made sideways for me, this was a thumbs down for me. I just really didn't like it at all, and I looked forward to the next musical act. I should say, like I was like, let's see something different here.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy this performance. Thought they were just off.
I mean, this is not as good as the first one. I don't think I'm quite as harsh on it. But yeah, I agree. Like I go back to how can they not play something that that they are one of the biggest bands going at this point. So like this is only 3 years after all their hits started hitting. So yeah, it's crazy to think that they're here and they're doing this kind of. The song is not great and the performance isn't great either.
No, I agree with all of that. The only noteworthy thing for me here was the drummer. He was cracking me up because he reminded me, the way he was dressed reminded me of Nick Burns, your company's computer guy. with the cig in his mouth, just drumming. Yeah. I kind of like that his vibe in particular because he's dressed seriously like Nick Burns from the sketches, but he just has the cig in his mouth and he's just going. I'm like, I like the drummer. I like his vibe. This song I don't like, but I like watching the drummer. I wish they had just had a drummer cam and I could have just watched him perform the whole time.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like him, he's one of those faces that I recognize, and he always looks like this. When you look at Cheap Trick videos, like he always is wearing that way overworn button-down shirt that just kind of looks like your dad would wear this on a special Sunday or something.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, so we have Charles fronting another sketch tonight. The Charles Rocket episode.
This really is
SNL right here. Yeah, so it's Saturday Night Live Action Dolls. This turned out to be a lot more risque than I expected. This won me over by the end. I was actually kind of like laughing a lot. I was surprised to see where Charles was going with this, and it was like, wow. But it did work for me.
Is that Denny passed out on the couch? That's right. She's had too much to drink. Look, there's Joe boogieing with Gail. Oh, boy, Joe and Gail are really getting him down. Ring. Uh-oh, it's Joe's wife on the phone. He has to go home. Too bad, Joe.
Yeah, it made me kind of crack up. I don't know if I'm just shocked by Charles, like, hey, he's actually okay or something. But, like, I thought it was funny. I thought, like, it went in a different way. It was kind of like risky. I thought it was going to be just so much more Pitchman-like.
Exactly.
It took that risque turn with it, and just, hey, I'm here alone with the ladies, and then, but is it the cops? I got to go flush this down.
Charles going to flush his drugs down the toilet.
Oh yeah, and then him calling Gilbert Gilly, which like I don't know if that was like quite out there.
It was like a backstage kind of thing. Yeah,
so it was kind of funny that he did that. Just him kind of going like, okay, like. And I don't know if this is playing off of the reputation of the first 5 years and like the partying and stuff, so they're kind of keeping that going. But I thought it was really funny.
Yeah, I love the fact that he's trying to bang all the cast members.
Kind of on brand, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it totally makes sense. And like making sure that Joe gets out of the room because his wife calls, and like Gilly's just kind of hanging out.
Joe
in the
and
corner.
Gail were like dancing, but then there's Joe's wife. Yeah,
Anne's not wearing any panties. Like it's just
Jesus. Yeah,
like
Gilbert went and threw up.
Yeah.
But yeah, even his motions as he's getting rid of the drugs, like he does that so well to make that little doll hand put the drugs down the toilet. Like, I think this was an unexpected surprise if you hadn't seen this before. It's been a while.
Yeah, good for Charles Rocket. I say this is his best night of the season by far.
Oh yeah, by far, killing it.
Yeah.
All right, so we have Gilbert and Denny in the next sketch, and we see a return of Pinky and Leo. What's it all about?
Karen, would you like to plug some of your movies to our outside viewers?
Oh, all right. Well, I just finished in Paris, Chanel Solitaire, with this great actor.
You were so good in Five Easy Pieces with that Jack Nicholson.
When he left you in the gas station like that?
Nicholson.
That was terrible.
I think pretty standard Pinky and Leo fare to me. Like they have a guest, and then Pinky cuts everybody off, and it's kind of charming but fairly standard up until the end. The end was kind of crazy, but I think for the most part Deremy, this was kind of typical Pinky and Leo fare that we've seen, and it's not a complaint. It's just because I like them, but it's like kind of typical.
It's the typical beats, but it wasn't as good to me. I didn't like this. Like the beat, I like Pinky getting like those jokes in and kind of riffing off like that celebrity guest, but I felt like that the jokes were lacking, and then it just kind of was like Karen was kind of just going all over the place, and I kind of wish like the way it's gone before, it should have gone this way, where like that celebrity's just playing it straight. I think that would have fit Karen better if she just played it straight, like, yeah, I was in that role. Yeah. And they start riffing, but then Karen starts getting kind of off.
That was out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, and her having a breakdown was very out of nowhere to me.
Yeah.
I actually like that part. I think that's what makes this a little bit better, because this is very, like, I don't know that I need this a third time, because they're not mixing it up at all.
Right.
But yeah, it is out of nowhere for sure, but I think Karen elevates this with her really weird behavior towards the end, acting like a monkey, and Denny trying to shut it all down and having the camera kind of pan off. But yeah, I enjoyed this one a little bit more just because of what we got there.
Yeah, I agree with you actually that Karen actually made this sketch a little more memorable, I guess, or it made it stick out a little bit more compared to the other ones. So that might have been a saving grace, I think. Yeah.
Is that what she is known for? Is that why they were doing it? Like, because they didn't do that for anyone else. So I'm just wondering why they chose her to kind of go off kilter. Like, I'm just.
What did she reference? Like, were those references to any of her movies?
Don't think so. I think she just has a penchant for doing accents, but why she starts doing the whole wild and crazy stuff, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. We have our next sketch with Matthew Lawrence actually leading it at the end of the night. He plays a guy mugging a couple played by Joe and Ann, but he doesn't use a gun. He uses a person because, quote, guns don't kill people. People kill people. This is an ad from the National Handgun Association.
Okay, give me all your money or I'll kill you.
Oh, God, he has a gun.
No. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. And I've got a person right here, so don't try anything funny.
No. Please, put away your person. We'll give you anything you want. Just don't point that person at us.
Yeah. Come on.
Here, everything you want.
What'd you guys think of this bit of satire at the end of the night?
I liked it. I like that they're getting better at their social commentary a little bit as the season goes on. I thought it was short but funny, honestly, and like it's a line. Sadly, you still hear today, like guns don't kill people, people kill people, and it's like no, guns kill people.
Right?
It's like that's the gun, and so it's like I like that. Like, hey, when you really break it down, what you're saying. This is, I know they're like, no, it's not literal, but this is the literal, like, to me, you kind of need to do this to be like, this is how ridiculous you sound when you say guns don't kill people. And it's like, okay, so I have a person. I shot you with this human being, and that's what put you in the ground. That's what killed you. I like what they went with here. And I thought, like I said, it wasn't too long, but it made me laugh.
Yeah, Bill, we've discussed so far this season that the writers seem to have some type of trouble landing satire. They kind of make it muddy. We think the Commie Hunters sketch was supposed to be satire of something, but that was an epic, awful flame out. That's the worst example. But there have been plenty of examples where I think they're going for something, but they just really missed the mark. But I agree with Deremy. It seems like they're getting better. What'd you think of this National Handgun Association one?
This is definitely one of the highlights of the night for me. And I think the satire, they're in and out, using Eddie as the person and kind of shoving his face into Joe and Ann was really, really funny to me. That line was something that kind of started in the 80s, and it's, as Deremy said, sadly still something that's said today. But this is where it kind of began, where it was like, well, it's not the gun's fault. Having it, like, why it's buried this late in the night, I'm not quite sure, because I think this would have been something that you could have put towards the front end. But I'm glad it got on, and it is kind of smart, especially for season 6.
Yeah, I'm really glad it got on. I like this a lot, and I have to give them kudos for having a viewpoint, a satirical viewpoint, and really executing it. Like, it was concise, it was clear. And that, to me, with satire, I know a lot of people who consume satirical pieces, they don't like to be spoon-fed the satire, but I think there's an element that you do have to make it clear what you're saying at the same time. And I think this struck a really nice balance. I mean, I think it was sarcastic, but I think it needed to be. I think you needed some sort of sarcastic tone. To me, this was really well executed. And I agree with you, Bill. I'm like, yeah, it would have been interesting to see them move this up a little bit, but I like this piece a lot. All right, and then we have a musical performance, Deremy. Maybe this'll lighten, this'll make you feel better after the Cheap Trick song. So we have Stanley Clarke Trio performing "Wild Dog." Stanley Clarke, a great bass player, a really renowned bass player. Deremy, did this fulfill any sort of promise? Did this make things better for you on the musical front?
Absolutely. This is by far the best performance of the night. One of my favorites of the season, honestly. Like, behind Aretha and like James Brown, this is like my third. I really dug like the instrumental, and I think it was just, they were grooving and it sounded great. And I was like, I like this. Like, honestly, with Cheap Trick, I would have taken Ray Sharkey's like musical performance from last week. I'd rather him.
That was legit good, though.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'd rather that.
Ray was legit good punk rocker.
I'd rather him do that than Cheap Trick. Like, honestly. So Stanley Clarke really killed it. Really showed. And I guess because the way Karen announced it, like, I don't know if that was like a request by her to like have them on, but it seemed like there's like a friendship connection there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was excited. She even said "my friend," right? Like, So I wonder if that was like at the request of her. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed this too. The rare instrumental performance on SNL, right? Now, other than not having a horn section, I get Herb Alpert vibes from this. Like, I really enjoy the way this song plays out. But yeah, I think this is, I agree, Deremy, one of the better moments musically from the season so far.
Yeah. The tempo a little bit in parts was kind of throwing me off. It seemed like they weren't in sync. I guess that can happen when you're doing some sort of like free jazz kind of thing. But then it really became sharp toward the end of the song. I think they kind of found more synchronicity, like Stanley and the keyboard player and stuff kind of found more synchronicity with each other. And then once they locked in, they got in the pocket, so to speak. And I think that ended really, really well. So I think I would take this over Ellen Shipley too, Deremy. I actually genuinely liked Ellen Shipley's performance.
Yeah.
Too. So I think this would be in the top. I would say maybe Aretha, James Brown. I would say I think Stanley Clarke. I did enjoy this more than Cheap Trick.
Yeah. I think this is my number 3 so far, and I'm keeping tabs of the musical performances, like which ones I like, which ones I don't. I really did enjoy it. It was a pleasant surprise to hear Stanley Clarke Trio, so I liked it. And a good way to close out the show.
Yeah, indeed. So it did close out the show. We have the good nights. I don't know if anyone else noticed during the good nights all the kissing that was happening.
I saw Eddie and Karen give a...
Oh, that was just the start of it. Yeah, right, Karen initiated it with Eddie. So Karen turned around and kissed Eddie, and then Eddie was like, oh. And then I think Eddie kissed someone, and then by the end, like, I think there were like 6 different kisses that happened. A lot of kisses
on the lips. Yeah, and they
weren't a lot of lip kisses. It wasn't even like, I think Yvonne and Eddie, and then it was just like, Karen kind of started, it was like a domino effect from Karen kissing Eddie. So that was my highlight of the good nights. I was like, whoa, what's happening here?
It's the 80s, Colin. That's
very, very good point. So what we do here, Bill, close the show. We have reasons for optimism and areas of improvement. Like, we're consultants. We want to give some feedback. So, Bill, what kind of reasons for optimism do you have coming out of this episode?
Well, I think Joe is emerging as a front runner, and he really showed it tonight with his Sinatra impression, doing 2 different Saturday night sports segments. So I think that was really key. And as we've been saying all along, like Charlie kind of finding his voice outside of Update and having probably his best night. So there's something to look forward to there.
Oh, nice. Deremy, what do you think?
For optimism, I would say, Charlie Rocket giving a performance by far his best, but even if, like, not looking at the previous episodes, just by any standard to me, he killed it tonight. Like, he did a variety of different things, excelled in a lot of them, showed, like you mentioned earlier, Thomas, that everyman likability. And honestly, I'm not even trying to sound mean, but just, I was kind of wondering, what did they see in him? Like, as far as, like, performing, was it just his looks? So he's a good-looking guy. So, like, tonight I'm like, okay, maybe I can see what they saw in him in hiring, because I hadn't been able to see that yet. So, definitely seeing him improve. And I agree with Bill. Joe just being that glue guy, that anchor. I don't know, I've been saying, I don't know why you didn't see that from, like, episode 2 on, but, like, I feel like the last couple episodes in this one, you're starting to see Joe emerge to what he would become the next few seasons. So, yeah, those are my reasons for optimism.
Yeah, I agree with all those points. And I guess mine, one is that I think their satire is getting a little more sharp and focused, and I could really tell that. And this episode had the most well executed sketch of the season with the Livelies, the game show sketch.
Yeah,
that sketch really impressed me. It seems like maybe I'm seeing signs of maybe more focus in some areas as far as the writing goes, and we've been pretty harsh on the writing. But I think I can still see there's reasons for optimism when it comes to the writing for me. Some areas of improvement. I'll start off with areas of improvement. The Weekend Update joke writing. I just said the writing, but the joke writing on Weekend Update is absolutely brutal. I'm grading on a curve, so if something happens like Charles rattling off the plans for the inauguration, if that even hits just a little bit, I'm like, whoa, and I kind of, but overall the joke writing is just terrible. And my little nitpick coming out of this is just, if you have a talented host who can act and who's just there and wants to have a good time, use them more. So it seems like Karen, it got better toward the end, but it was the 6th segment by the time we saw Karen. And I just think, like, maybe know how to use your host just a little bit more. And I think Karen was a good host. I was, like, impressed with how she did, but I just would have wanted to see them use her better.
Yeah, I completely agree about Update. I mean, it's just a complete mess. And trying not to look into the future of the next, like, 6 episodes, like, it ain't gonna get better. Sorry, spoiler alert, 45 years later. But Jesus, man, like, this is so depressing to me, because this is always one of my favorite parts of any SNL episode. And, it's just that time capsule of what's going on in the world. And we're not getting that here, other than some silly pictures. It's really shitty writing. So I don't know, like, that's area for improvement, but sorry, folks, you're going to have to wait till 1985.
Yeah. Well said. Even though I do agree with you, Thomas, the writing, you could see, like, whether it was satire, it's getting better. It's still a struggle, and I think hearing you say, which I agree with, that the game show sketch is the best of the night, of the season, and I'm like, but I'm like, yeah, I think the things that we've liked the most have been filmed pieces.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when it comes to live sketches, it's been, the writing is so-so, well, the concept is okay, and the writing isn't it, but, like, people execute it well. Whether it's Gail or Denny or Eddie or Joe, they just bring the funny. So to me, that's, like, a problem where I'm like, yeah, if I look back so far, we're 7 episodes in, and this is, like, probably by far the best well-executed live sketch here, and where the 7th episode is a problem for me. So
yeah.
The writing is still where it's concerning for me.
Okay, I could agree with that. Awesome, guys. Bill, Kenney, thank you so much for joining us. You're one of the people that we had to have on
Absolutely.
in this venture, and you chose Karen Black. We asked you what episode, and you decided, hey, I'm going to choose an actual good episode from season 6. Was that the mindset you had coming into that?
Yeah, firstly, thank you for having me. I always enjoy talking to both of you, and yeah, coming on and talking about season 6 is exciting for me. Yeah, I mean, that was a fork in the road when you guys asked me that question, and I took a couple days to think about it, and I'm like, do I want to go the optimistic route or the pessimistic route? I almost said Malcolm McDowell, but I'm glad I got to watch you guys suffer through that instead of suffering myself through it.
That would have been fun in a completely different sort of way.
It really would have. Yeah. 3 salty guys talking about SNL. But yeah, thank you for having me. This has been a blast.
And why don't you tell the folks what you're up to this summer at the SNN and anything else you want to plug?
Yeah, we're in the midst of the Saturday Night Network, our annual summer series that John Schneider and I host. This year we're doing the 100 greatest sketches of all time in SNL history. So we gave the vote to the fans, and Thomas, you put in the yeoman's work just as I did, and made a spreadsheet with our sketches, and we'll see how many of yours get on.
100.
We'll see how many of mine get on. But it's not about that; it's about the people. So make sure you check that out every Monday night, all through the summer.
Well, it's a little about that, Bill. We want our sketches to get on, right?
We do, but we're not putting our as SNN stalwarts. We're not putting our finger on the scale.
No, definitely. But I submitted 100 sketches for that.
Love
all
that.
100. I filled up all my votes, so
yes,
I'm definitely looking forward to that. And Deremy, next week we will be covering episode 8, which aired on January 24th, 1981. Host Robert Hayes with musical guest Joe King Carrasco in the Crowns and 14 Karat Soul. Do you have any sort of preconceived notions or thoughts about Robert Hayes or the musical guest?
I feel like I might know who Robert Hayes. I got to see the picture of him. But the musical guest is not ringing a bell right now. But I feel like
14
Robert
Karat
Hayes.
Soul might have had like some. Then that sounds familiar. I don't know why.
Yeah, it does, but I can't place it. So I'm not going to try to guess right now. Maybe once we do it, I'm like, okay. But Robert Hayes, I think I know. I feel like that's the stepdad in Homeward Bound.
Stepdad in Homeward Bound, and with Ray Sharkey, you're like, I know him as the villain in Cop and a Half.
That's where he.
I love this.
Jeremy, you're the first person to ever say that as Robert Hayes' opening moment there. Airplane, man.
That's true, Airplane. I forgot he's in Airplane.
Who did he play in Airplane, Bill?
He's the main guy.
The main guy. Okay, see, I always because he didn't really do a ton. I think outside of Airplane.
I think
so
of
I don't.
Everybody else in Airplane.
I think of I think of everybody else. Leslie Nielsen, but just Robert Hayes. Okay. So I'm kind of looking forward to this more. So I saw Robert Hayes' name. I'm like, I don't know who that is, but I absolutely know who that is.
Yeah,
from Homeward Bound, of course, and then I think he was in Airplane. So
I think he was in that movie Airplane. No one's heard of that movie Airplane. So
glad you're here, Bill.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right, so join us next week for episode 8. Robert Hayes from Homeward Bound and Joe King Carrasco in the Crowns and 14 Karat Soul. Looking forward to it, buddy.
Absolutely, man. Can't wait.
Thanks for listening to the Not Ready for Primetime Project. Be sure to subscribe and follow wherever you listen to our podcast. You can also follow us on social media everywhere at NR4PT Project. Thanks for listening. Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.